Hello everybody, now on AFM here, and today we're going to be reviewing Ready Player 3, a live show by Egoraptor, Dan, and Jacksepticeye. Egoraptor and Dan are known as the Game Grumps, and Jacksepticeye obviously is a very popular YouTuber, and all three obviously are popular gaming YouTubers who do Let's Plays and segments and whatnot on the website. And this is going to be a review of the Cardiff Motorpoint Arena show, which took place on October 13th, 2017. So before I get into the review, I'm going to be talking about like background on how I know these gaming personalities. So for me, I'm a follower of Egoraptor's work mainly, Arin Hanson as this is his real name, and I've been following him since his my favorite stuff is his awesome series, and obviously the highlight of what his works was the Mega Man X Sequelitis, and obviously when he transitioned to the Let's Play gaming format with Game Grumps and whatnot, I did follow that, but I wouldn't call myself a huge fan. I'm not an ultra super fan of the Game Grumps, but I do tune in from time to time with the pertinent Let's Plays that I enjoy, depending on the game. And for me, there are a couple of things that Arin I'm not a fan of, obviously, like the Ocarina of Time Sequelitis. I was critical of that. Dream Daddy is not my cup of tea. They made a game that's a dating game. Looks very weird. Not my thing. And Star Bomb. A lot of people love Star Bomb. I found it to be very, very weird. Obviously, there is a lot of talent involved in Star Bomb. I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just like really weird. Doesn't like mesh with me as well as I expected. And Jacksepticeye, I'm not a fan of. Just to be honest with everybody. Not really a fan of Jack. I don't follow him much. He's not my cup of tea in terms of gaming and Let's Play and commentary and whatnot. So before I get into the review, let's talk about my expectations going in the show. I had maybe little to no expectations whatsoever because I didn't know what they were gonna do. Like the question that came to mind with me is, how will a YouTube Let's Play gaming show fit into the live format? I was very skeptical before going in, but I was obviously looking at it as a glass of half full. These guys are very creative, very talented. They could make things work. So the positives. Let's talk about the positives first. The highlight for me is the audience interactivity and seeing the audience react to these three gentlemen. That was the best thing about the show. While the format itself, I'm like 32 years old, and some of the things maybe, or the interactivity, maybe like below my age range, but in the same time, for me, even like, for example, when I'm going to a WWE live show, the audience reaction is one of the highlights. Like, I love seeing people chant. It's so fun. Throughout the whole show, there's a smile. I'm just grinning because everybody's having a lot of fun, and they managed to make things work. Surprisingly, it was really mind-blowing to me how they got this Let's Play format into a live format. But in the same time, I think the game lent itself. That's one of the other positives I want to mention. They played basically, it's 1.5 hours of one game, and then the 30 minutes remaining for the question and answer format. So the 1.5 hours was one game called Mario Party 10. And it really, really fits the show. They chose the perfect game to showcase their talents, because the game is a mixture of fast and slow pace. It's a board game, so you could wait and demand audience interaction for certain things, like choosing between the mini games, choosing the character, and the other portion of the interactivity is actually people going up stage and playing with them. So player 1 and player 2, player 1 was shared by the Game Grumps, and player 2 was Jack, and player 3 they divided the venue into two segments, right and left. So very, very creative, smart way. So the right side was Waluigi, they let them pick the character, and the left side was Yoshi. And with every minigame gameplay, as soon as a minigame pops in, they choose random random participators from the audience to go into stage and play with them. And obviously, what they do is they introduce them, they say what their name is, and then they tell them to do something silly. They ask like a commentary, what's your favorite sandwich? There were very funny like segments, and it really lent itself well to the Let's Play format. And also with the Q&A, there was one significant like reaction was like a 6-year-old asking Jack what his favorite Mario game was, and everybody was like, oh, because he's 6-year-old, and it's really below his age to be here, but at the same time it was very cute. And the audience reaction is also really cool with the question and answer. Everybody was having a good time. And another positive is their commentary. Like Game Grumps, they perfectly transitioned their Let's Play commentary of YouTube into the live audience, like all the off-the-cuff commentary. There's nothing like pre-rendered or written for them. They just like anything they see funny or interesting, they just spurt it out. And obviously all the humor is 18+ crude humor, but that's what makes the Game Grumps. But it's quite funny, like to see them doing this in a live format. Like sometimes you see like Egoraptor's character shining through and like commenting on the game. Not as much as I wanted, but you do see that. And with Dan, all the off the wall crude humor. The one significant joke was like one of the mini games was called Find It, Pound It, something like that. And then he said that just like a Saturday night, huh? So that was quite funny. And another part is Jack. Jack surprised me because, like I said, I'm not a fan of Jack, but he fit really well with the Grumps. Really good chemistry. He didn't hog the spotlight, even though he's a more popular YouTuber, but he kept them some breathing room and interjected when he could. And there's a very nice chemistry between these three characters, like they're friends. They've been friends for a long time. Again, the off-the-wall, off-the-cuff commentary lends itself to them. It doesn't seem like anything was pre-scripted or pre-planned. Everything was like, even the nature of Mario Party 10 and its randomness. So you're pretty sure when you're watching this, nothing is pre-planned, nothing is they didn't think of a lot of things like going into it. It's just like something off the wall, off the cuff. They're having fun, and the audience is having fun with them. Another positive is it began immediately. Like they cut all the bull crap. They said, hey, let's start playing. And it's 1.5 hours, which is not bad. It's perfect length for something like that. I think if it would have gone longer, it would have been a bit boring and repetitive. So it's perfect, like 1.5 hour of gameplay, and then 30 minutes for the question and answer. And obviously, a lot of fans want to ask their like questions and were interested in what they thought on certain things. Again, a lot of like humor shining through, a lot of like nice seriousness, intimate moments with the audience, thanking the fans for coming in and whatnot and all that. The other thing, this is something positive with the venue. The lighting was absolutely awesome. A lot of interactivity with the lighting, like when they're chanting, the light goes on and off for one side, and it obviously this is very venue dependent. I don't know if they have there's a lighting crew with them, or the venue comes with the lighting crew. I'm not really sure how the stipulation works with their European tour, but the lighting for this instant in this situation was really good. They did a really awesome job with like blending it or making it interactive with their commentary. So let's get into the negatives. For me, the handling of the audience participation and the Q&A was not optimal. Obviously, they did the best they could. You know, it's really hard to get everything perfect. But I don't know on what basis they're picking people. They did try to like catch from every section a person that didn't, like, you know, they try to jump in around from every section, even the people in the bleachers. But it was crowded, man. It wasn't sold out, but it was insane. Like, I don't know how they sift through all the audiences and all the people who wanted to ask questions. It wasn't optimal. It could have been better, but they did the best they could. Second negative is, I did allude to that before, it may be a bit under your maturity level depending on your age. Like for me, I saw it to be late teens, tweens, the 20s, you know, that early 20s range. For people who are late 20s or over 30s might find it a bit under their maturity level, but at the same time, I was very entertained. Don't get me wrong. But the audience participation, while it works well and put a smile on my face, I wouldn't like interact as much as people would. People are screaming like crazy super fans, like you know, like their voices were so loud. I wouldn't go that far, but at the same time, it's nice just, you know, letting all like smelling the roses, as they say. But you may find it a bit under your maturity level depending on your age. The other negative is I find it to be a one-trick pony, in my opinion, because what I understand and what I've seen is that they're only using Mario Party 10. So if you attended one show, it will be redundant or cumbersome to attend another, because it's just that same game. Yes, there is some randomness attached to the game and to their commentary. There's nothing like pre-scripted, as I said, but at the same time, it's still a one-trick pony if you're like watching one game. What I expected, like for me, I sort of expected like the introduction to be like some sort of musical thing from Starbomb or something like that. Even though I don't like Starbomb, but I expected like a one-song Starbomb appearance and Jack interacting with them in the music with a live band or something of that sort. But that didn't happen. I expected like multiple games, sifting through multiple games, like they play a bit of Mario Kart, they play a bit of. I thought it was going to be something like that, but apparently it's just one game. Like I said, the game itself, the perfect game for it, but it's a one-trick pony. Like if you attended one, it's like you attended all their shows. Another negative is I found the commentary and critique on the game itself to be lacking. Obviously, it's really hard to mix and match between having audience interactivity and doing the off-the-wall typical Game Grumps humor and adding in the game commentary. But that wasn't prominent because I think they optimized, or they chose to go for heavy interactivity, but at the same time the process of critiquing the game, something that I watch the Grumps for sometimes, like the funny critiques on the game itself, was kind of lacking. There was maybe one or two comments by Arin, but aside from that, there was you don't expect any like funny or humorous critiques on the game itself. Another negative as well, I found the VIP ticket announcements was not handled as well as it could. Like one day before, if you're following the Cardiff Motorpoint Arena on Twitter venue, they announced that these VIP tickets were going up and whatnot. But if you buy the ticket from the website that's registered to the venue, you don't find the option of VIP. So that was it wasn't handled as well as I thought it would. So for huge fans who are going and want to like meet and greet with these people, you better like communicate with the venue directly beforehand and see if they have any VIPs tickets or like the meet and greet tickets, because you won't find any like notifications coming to you if you pre-booked a ticket. One thing, like it's a pet peeve of mine, it's a subjective critique, but poor parents who were attending with their kids who are under 10 years old. Because like the ticket says it's 18 plus and you could accompany with an adult, so you could go in, but like the poor kids who were under 6, especially who were asking the questions, I'm like, wow, they were exposed to the mature humor. Like obviously this is dependent on the parenting and whatnot. I don't want to critique anybody who takes their kid to these shows, but at the same time, these kids and it's ironic that the Game Grumps know this, and they sort of self-reference something like that and said, oh, I'm sorry for all the parents who got their kids to this show and we're expecting a maturity level or no crude humor. But it did say they didn't pre-notify, but in the same time it's like it's still these kids who are exposed to all this, poor kids, like I don't know how their parents would start explaining all the crude humor to them. So that's it. And in conclusion, like I said, it's a very entertaining show. Managed to hit all the notes with blending in the Let's Play to a live format. Transitioned seamlessly between the two, in my opinion. Some kinks that should be ironed out, I would say, like more variety, like Starbomb, or more games, like add more commentary to the games itself. You know, there are a couple of things that they can iron out to get the format perfect. And like I said, once you attend, it's one attendance is more than enough if you're a huge super fan, because the rest would be redundant unless you didn't get to ask your question, or you wanted to VIP meet and greet, and you're really a huge fan of these characters. You can attend another show, but it will be a bit boring for you because it's basically the same format. There's no like variety. So I hope you enjoyed my review impressions. Like I said, for me the highlight was the audience interactivity. It was absolutely amazing. I had a smile on my face the whole time, and the personalities of these three basically shone through for me, and Jack won me over in my opinion, so that's good stuff. Hope you enjoyed my review. Stay tuned for other unique content. Hope you comment as usual, whatever questions that you want to ask regarding Ready Player 3. I'm ready to answer, and we'll catch you guys with another video. Peace out. Bye.